This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
Hello, everyone. We are going to officially call to order. It is 4:11 p.m. Laura Scott.
Present.
Bonnie Atkins.
Present.
And myself, Megan Harvey, present. We first will open up the floor to public comment. I have no one online at this point, and I have no one anywhere. Unless, Jess, do you have any public comment you wanted to make? Okay. In that case, I'm going to close public comment, and we will move on to however you want to handle this phase day. We have sort of the general overview and then building specific, but if you prefer a different order, you can do that. Whatever you'd like to do.
We won't have building specific because we just released the budgets to the building principal today in the new software.
Sorry.
So the pipeline is going to be a little different just because the rollout of the software was a little slower than
We'll follow your lead.
So, all right, I guess what I have is this paper that I'm going to hand out.
Okay.
Pass them around. All right, so I guess let's just work our way from top to bottom, kind of like we did last time. So the top number is what our current year FY26 approved budget number is, right? That 22.7. What I did then is complete salary projections based on our current staff. So based on the people we currently have in our buildings who are working for us as of this moment, or as of last week, but we haven't had any changes in last week. Right, so what you see in the dollar column is the increase over what was budgeted for that group last year. Right, so for most of these, it's based on the collective bargaining agreements and changes in steps and lanes that are going to happen. Right, so our teachers, paraeducators, admin assistants, custodial, school committee, thank you, city council, and the individual contracts. Right, so that first lump is what we see as our personnel increases for next year based on the staff that we currently have. So overall, our personnel expenses are going up about 6%, which is about what we'd expect with steps and lanes and all of those things happening. The next
Clarifying question. So this number
Absolutely.
here, like the 6,125 for school committee, that is the amount we need for fiscal year 27?
Yes, that is the amount over what is
Above
budgeted
last.
for
Got it.
FY26.
Okay, thank you.
So all of these numbers is what is above what was
Okay.
budgeted FY26. So at this point,
Thank
we're
you.
looking at just what the additions are.
Yep.
Instead of, because I figured that magnitude
Yep.
of numbers, it's easier to look at this way.
Yeah.
Okay. The next bunch of lines are our kind of biggest expense drivers. So regular ed transportation. If we choose to exercise it, which I'm going to bring to the committee and suggest that we do, is we had a 3-year contract with 2 one-year optional renewals with Durham, locked in at 3%. Right. So I think it's going to be advantageous to us to continue with that contract. So that's why you see 3% there for regular education and voc, because Durham provides that transportation. Our vocational tuition, we haven't actually received numbers from Smith or CTEC yet. So I put in an estimated 5% increase. Right. So that 5% is an estimate amount. Same thing with the homeless transportation and foster transportation, because those transportation costs don't fall under a contract, right? We kind of contract those out as needed because a lot of times they're short term or they fluctuate. And those vendors are the ones that we're seeing kind of the most volatility with. So I took the number that was in the FY26 budget and added a 7% increase for homeless and foster. Special education transportation, we are currently in our last year of a contract with Vanpool. So we actually have to recontract with Vanpool for next year.
Okay.
Right. So I'm anticipating, that increase I'm budgeting that at a 10% increase based on what I'm hearing from surrounding communities. And this last one, the out of district tuition. Okay.
That's a big number.
That is a big number, right? And Melina and I need to dig into this a little bit more. And so remember last year that we had essentially a $700,000 deficit in out of district tuition. So that number shouldn't be surprising, knowing that last year's budget was under budget by 700,000 for it. And so what this number is based on is the students that we currently have in the placements that they are currently in, assuming that those students stay in those placements for next year.
Okay.
That's a lot of variables that can change, which is why this line item in particular has been volatile for us. And yeah. So that is taking into account offsets from circuit breaker, offsets from the Special Education 240 grant. And as it is, there's a $1.2 million offset already on that line item. Okay. Yeah, we're going to dig into that a little bit more, sort of see, because we're really trying to pin down what information changed between when Nick was building this year's budget estimate last year and the information that we have now. You're like, is it that kids are moving to more expensive placements? Is it DCF involved families? Like, what exactly is it that are those drivers? So we're going to dig into that, and I should have some more specifics for you at the next meeting about that. But again, based on the kids we are currently aware of, the placements that they're in, this is how much it will cost us to educate those kids in those same placements next year. Yeah. We did identify 3 families today where one parent lives outside of Easthampton that we were not aware of, right? That we should be cost sharing there with the other district, right? So we're going to be sending some emails, making some phone calls, right?
That's really good.
So sometimes it's just doing some due diligence around those things.
Lowest hanging fruit. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Right. So what's on the bottom then are those same expenses that we talked about last time we met. I took out a couple because they were already built into our personnel budget.
Right.
So those numbers are already reflected in their respective categories above. So down at the bottom, right, that 2.4 is what we're looking at for our overall increase and what the projected budget increase is.
So last time around,
Yep.
we, just to kind of clarify for the mayor's office,
Yep.
made some kind of explanatory adjustments to that final year-over-year percentage increase. So if we were to remove the contracted, right, I can see that that's 6. I don't do math. So does that mean this is just roughly a 4.79% increase? I can't just subtract the 6.04 that was the increase for contracted personnel.
I'll have to do some math on that. I didn't bring it up with me.
I found that sat really well with central office downstairs last year.
Yep.
Because I know, when other departments have questions, then they have an explanation to offer.
Okay, so breakdown increase.
I think this sheet goes a long way toward that.
Yeah.
The only recommendation I would make was bust out this 10.82 a little more.
Yeah. Pulled out personnel increases.
And then one was just the unexpected cost.
Unexpected.
I think that speaks for itself in the way Julia laid this
And
sheet out.
transportation might have been its own.
Yep.
Which it is.
Transportation was
so-
considered one of the unanticipated
Right,
increases.
okay.
Because when we did that last year, the math came in, it was like just under or just over 4 was our year over year increase.
Yeah.
When you
When we
adjusted
took
for
out-
those other 2 factors.
Yeah. So we have a meeting with Salem tomorrow. So before that meeting, I can break that out.
Great.
Right.
I don't think we're meeting the same resistance, but it was useful last time. And if Salem finds it useful in his discussions with other departments.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, we're just talking about you.
Hey. how are you?
I wasn't trying to shade you by sending Evan that email right now.
Well,
I just sent him the full schedule so you
Sorry,
have it
but
because I forgot to text
We
you.
literally just got here.
Okay, great.
We were in Pittsfield.
There you go.
So
Okay.
I sat down,
Welcome.
had a ginger ale. Everyone's like, oh,
Got back up.
we're here in time for school finance meeting.
And he said, lucky me.
I mean, just run up there.
That's what I was hoping you would say.
So I love all the papers and all the numbers.
Papers and numbers.
Do we want to do a quick
Yeah.
review of this?
Yeah, let's
Yep.
do it.
You want?
It's like, no.
Readers?
Hold on. You hold this for me? No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I got it.
These are 2.0 readers. Is
No,
that
I can see it.
helpful?
I can see it. Actually.
Okay.
Good for you.
Yeah, I try not to do anything smaller than 11-point font because
God
I'm
bless.
a certain age as well.
Yeah.
So what this sheet outlines from at the top, that is our current FY26 budget. And then I broke down by grouping. So what the numbers here is just the increase over what was budgeted in FY26, right, for each of these personnel categories. So approximately a 6.4% increase in personnel costs, which jives, I think, with between steps and lanes. And like, remember in the teacher's contract, we added a lane.
We also, when we built that contract, had like that increase. We had year 1, year 2, year 3.
Right.
So we're hitting that.
2.7.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry
Yeah.
about that. I'll be sorry forever. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, that's something I think people don't realize. I mean, we
It all
talk about
adds up.
2.75. It's not
Doesn't seem like a lot.
2.75.
No.
2.75 is 6.04.
Right.
Plus the lanes and then the doctoral degrees.
Right.
Yep. Yep. Then expense increases. So regular and boat transportation, we have a contract that we can extend for 1 more year with Durham. So that 3% is locked in. Vocational tuition, we actually haven't received numbers from CTEC or Smith. So that 5% increase is an estimate. Homeless and foster.
Yeah.
Sorry, can I
I'm
pause
going
on
to
that
ask the
one?
same question. Go.
Does that come from the state? The
No,
tuition?
they're bored. So what number
I think
did you
folk
use?
tuition-
I used
Same
last
thing?
year.
Their board sets it.
Oh.
I used the number from this year, FY26 number, and I increased it 7%. That's why I have that 7 there.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay,
Right.
thank you.
So for homeless and foster transportation,
Well,
those
it
are a little
says
more
5.
volatile. For voc transportation.
Okay.
Or for voc tuition, sorry.
Cool.
And then special ed transportation, our contract with Vanpool is up this year. So because the contract is up, that gives them an opportunity to wiggle their rates up, which we assume they will. So we're anticipating a 10%
They
increase.
essentially run a monopoly in this area unless we want to get creative. There isn't just
We are.
like,
We're working on
Right,
it. We're
right.
We
working
have
on
enough
it.
but like
vans now.
there isn't another van pool like
But I'm
readily
saying now
available.
we have enough.
We
vans.
cannot use those vans for home to school transportation. Right? They don't have all the bells and whistles and the lights, and we
Oh, the
don't
lights,
have, and we
yeah.
would need drivers with different certification. Yeah. Yeah. We can use them for some other
Fine line
things.
between creative and illegal.
Right. And I, there's definitely a side of that line I want to be at.
That's
It's
Yeah.
the legal side, I
Yes.
assume.
Yeah.
so for me, I want to be on the cheaper side.
Melena is working with Durham to get mini buses instead of all of these
Great.
single rider vans.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So-
That would be ideal.
Well, so the tricky part,
Oh, I'm going to
improvement.
ideal. Yeah.
right? The tricky part is that if you have 7 or 8 kids, but they're on 6 different vanpool routes, right? Taking 1 kid off of each of those routes doesn't actually collapse our route.
And we don't get to work with them on setting the routes. They have like full,
Yeah.
that would be one thing we should look at in the contract.
Right. So we're there's going to be some work to do on that.
Yeah.
So obviously one of our largest cost drivers is that out of district tuition. Right. And so this number increase, I was telling them before you got here, is based on what the numbers in this year's budget, which Nick would have developed based on the kids in placements at FY25, right? And if any glimmers of what we may have been aware of, the changes that have happened since then, and our guesses about where their kids are going to be next year, right? So that's the one line item that we see the most
Could
movement
fluctuate.
in,
Yeah.
because,
We don't
like
know.
a brand new family could move in, things
Move
could
in,
happen.
move in, age out.
Yeah, right.
And
Well,
we
if they're
had a
aging
debt-
out, we're aware of that.
Yeah.
We
But
had a deficit of 7.25, 725.
yeah, at the end of last year. So this number shouldn't surprise us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, given that this FY26's estimate was based on FY25 numbers and then pulling that forward.
And-
Do we still have the kid that's like out of district in New Hampshire or
We,
whatever? Like
yeah,
it's like it was
yeah.
the most significant one. It was like 500,000 or something.
yes,
6.
over 6 for next
Okay,
year. we
yeah.
anticipate.
I'm just going to make a kind reminder that we're being recorded, so we want to be careful about
Yeah.
identifying information. I
Yeah.
don't think we did that, just
No.
throwing that
Yep.
out there again.
I'm just curious, like the
Yeah.
the breakdown of out of district placements.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So yeah, one can really.
Yep,
It can-
that's all it takes.
Yep. So the bottom half, these are the same expenses that we went over.
I'm so
last.
sorry. I wanted him to know about the low hanging fruit work you were already
Oh, yeah.
doing to try to shave down the OOD number.
We identified 3 families today where one member of the one guardian now we are aware now lives in another city.
Oh.
So we should be cost sharing that tuition.
Yeah.
Right. So we're sending emails.
So they've
and letters
identified
today.
3 families
Oh,
already.
good.
Yeah.
Yes. It's great.
That's great.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So the tricky part is just getting the other district on board and making sure that things happen the way that they're supposed to.
I wonder if one of the things that we could break down is this 61% looks huge.
Yeah.
But had last year's budget been accurate and if we hadn't had the
Short.
deficit,
Yeah.
yeah. then what would that increase look like?
Looking at me with a math
Yeah,
question.
I don't
Seven
need to know
twenty-five,
now.
it would probably be like, 20%.
Yeah, but just another way of thinking about the budget is that if like this we won't have 61% again next year.
We might. You never
Yeah.
know. We have no control. This
We
is
can apply
nothing
for
we can control.
extraordinary relief too.
But again, that's not extra funding, everybody. That's just an advance on your
Earlier.
salary.
Yeah, I
But
can,
this one is not just because people moved in. This one, well, yeah, never mind.
I mean, it's
I
changes
strike
over
everything
Over
around.
2 years
Yeah.
too, think
Yeah.
about
It's
it.
kind of a reflection of a
Yeah.
2-year
Yeah,
adjustment.
yeah. That's what I was trying
So
to
you
get
could
at.
absolutely see 30% year after year after year.
Right.
And
like
we're
that.
seeing the cost of
Yeah.
programs increase substantially, 20-30%.
And the more you cut healthcare,
Exactly. Sorry, keep going. Strike our oath here, record.
so I'm making some notes about what you want to see next time. Right, so I can definitely break that number down. And again, right, there's offsets in there, right? We talked about whether or not to keep the offsets the same. And so my estimates kept those offsets the same, like we discussed last time, right? So the numbers on the bottom, these are the same increases or the asks that we talked about last time we met, except for the personnel changes that are already reflected up in
Right.
the current personnel costs. And so down at the bottom, so we anticipate that there's an increase of 2.4 million in the overall expenses from FY 26 to our current projection of FY 27, right? Which maps out at 10.82%.
Well, just
No,
looking at
looking
your
at me.
face. Yeah,
so
just
just
looking at
that
your
is so,
face.
and one thing we started doing in recent years that I think is palatable, especially when you're having conversations with other department heads, is to explain how this isn't a clean year-over-year increase. Some of this is reflected in contracted personnel increases. Some of these are expenses we don't have an option to pay or not. This is not a 10% expansion of our
Right.
services needs, And so we broke that down in a way that showed like the true actual increase that we had approved last year, I think was 3.9. Although it looks like close to 11 when you just do the back of the napkin math, So if that's helpful,
And
we
my
can
asks
illustrate
look
that.
like a lot, but they're only really actually.
And a lot of it is
There's
stuff
super
being
small
moved
proportion of it.
around
Yeah.
or current
Right.
employees doing different jobs and
Eliminating all of the like growth things is a drop in the bucket compared to the.
And some of the
Yeah.
growth things are a
Exactly.
necessity
Exactly.
for the monitoring we
Yeah.
now have at the high school level.
Right. Yeah, they're not even all growth like that. Yeah.
I'm looking for sunshine.
Yeah.
This is what I saw when I walked in this morning. I was like, wow, this is great.
Yeah.
I walked into Hadel talking about the $4 million structural deficit we have, so that was really fun to walk into.
This number is lower than 4 million.
Yeah.
Basic math. for it.
So explain that to me.
So, last year, out of the stabilization fund.
Yep.
$4 million was taken from stabilization to balance the budget. So that means there was a $4 million hole
Yep.
in order to fund last year's budget. So now as we look at it, going into
That's
this.
one way to frame it. Go ahead.
I mean,
Go ahead.
yeah.
Yeah. That's Hadel's framing. I
Yeah.
hear that.
And I mean, and so this is like the whole budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the way it was funded, basically, and a lot of that was anticipating the fact that health insurance, it was
Yep.
basically an undesignated line item. Is what
Sure.
it- And so, this year there's about $1 million more in health insurance costs that we're facing from the 38% increase,
Not as bad as it could have been.
which isn't as bad as it.
But we don't know about
necessarily-
July yet.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Or what that might do in June.
Well, we know that there's going to be a 16% increase
In July.
in July. We know that. So,
They're saying that now. I think that could go up. Like,
oh yeah.
They
Well,
have to negotiate it though.
Yeah.
yeah, it would be negotiated. I think that, hopefully the trust will, like, it seems like right now they are stabilized in some
Yeah.
respects.
We're no
So,
longer looking at the GIC for this.
well, we can't.
You had to do it by January.
December
December.
1st was the deadline to declare.
For next year, though.
Yeah, but it's like, if you didn't declare, then you don't. So there might be another window that we could potentially have the capability to make that transition if it made sense.
Are we going to be prepared in advance enough?
Well, I've asked human resources to be prepared. And the unions is another thing, right? And that would have to be impact bargaining. It wouldn't be a side letter.
Yeah. So what do we how do we handle that? Can we do that preliminarily to say in the event that this is an option available to us later this calendar? Like how do we schedule that to give ourselves enough time?
I did ask Emily, and she said that at this point, it doesn't, just because we can't make the transition right now, that it's not even worth putting that out there yet.
I think only one district was able to get it done, and that's Pioneer Valley Regional. They were the only one.
Because they did it quickly.
Yeah.
They went directly to their unions. They were Southampton got left out. South Hadley got left. South Hadley's now looking at an $11 million override for next year. I don't want to be the last one stuck in the trust.
No, but we are the biggest.
I know. That's why I'm terrified of getting stuck there all alone.
There's also something about the bills that, so once you do change the coverage, the city is responsible for claims that happen. I think it's for 4 or 6 months. The city,
we act as Cobra or something?
Basically. So if you
make any change,
so if you go change from one insurance company to another,
is this outside of the standard enrollment realignments, right?
It's within I think it's any time there's this period of
run out. Yeah.
Yeah. That is where
Can you explain it to me, Julia? I'm sorry.
So you change your date, right? Say you're going to change plans January 1st, right? But there's the people who see providers in December whose bills don't get to the insurance provider until January, and claims aren't paid until February, right? So they're usually, most plans have a 90 or 120 day run out period, right? Where you're still fiscally responsible because those services occurred while you were under that plan.
Right.
Right.
So because what we're
responsible for, responsible.
That sounds like tomfoolery.
Is that
because otherwise you would have to pay.
I haven't seen the plan design documents.
I would like to see the plan design documents.
Otherwise you'd have to pay double. You'd have to pay for the run out period, and you'd have to pay for the new insurance.
Can I be frank? This sounds like something we're being told by somebody who doesn't have all of the facts and maybe isn't giving us all of the guidance. I would like to before I get scared away from that, I would like to fully understand what that means. And I assume that the distinction here is because we're talking about we as a trust, we're funding this ourselves. We didn't just have a subscription to an insurance service, and I understand that. But there has got to be a way to pre-plan. Otherwise, nobody would ever move anywhere or do anything that's nonsense.
So I think
we're missing information.
Well, there's some information that you don't have necessarily yet, but I can give you part of that, which is, so there is legislation that was passed that would allow us to amortize those expenses, because those expenses are like that run out period. I think from what I've been told by multiple people is that's pretty standard when you switch providers. But the new legislation not only allows us to amortize that expense over 5 years, but it also is allowing
us. With interest.
What's that? With interest?
Well, that's what amortize means, right?
Well, yeah, we're basically spreading it over 5 years. But depending on, we're not taking a loan necessarily to pay that.
Okay.
So we would potentially use stabilization funds to pay chunk over 5 years of that cost. It would just let us spread it over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And any expenses that related to switching, if we were able to, which I don't know at this point, because the last time I asked, I said, because I really wanted to make sure we were ready for the next opening of the window.
Yeah. Me too.
And I told that there wasn't another opening of the window, which
that doesn't make any sense.
Which I didn't understand that part. So I'm still trying to figure out exactly what that means.
That's how I'm feeling. I feel like none of us, including the union, has enough information, and we should spend this time in the spring getting everybody educated.
And also getting ready.
Yes.
So that, for me, I want to make sure, now part of getting ready means you have everybody's claims history all in order, which is a pretty big undertaking.
And some sense of their willingness.
Yeah.
If you walk into and they say, I will die on this hill. I do not want to change providers. We need to know. We don't know. We haven't, and useful information.
To be fair, it's a different different time now. But when, so I was the design, this, I don't know if I want to admit this out loud. I was the deciding vote to stay in the trust when Mike Kausnick wanted to bring us to GIC. And really what it was,
I think it was a great deal for a very long time.
it was good. And when, based on the information I had at the time, it made sense.
Yes, agreed.
And
it might still,
and it's
but I don't feel
still
comfortable
might.
with that right now. I don't know.
Well, it's like not knowing is the
But
uncomfortable
GIC
part.
is going up another.
Yes, it
thing.
is. But also, if the trust goes bankrupt,
I think so. If the
because it's not, we're in a bad, we're not in a great shape financially. We are heads and shoulders above all of our neighbors.
yeah,
All of these neighbors are the ones sitting in the trust of the GIC. So when they go broker than we are, faster than we are, who's going to get stuck with the bill?
I think the way the trust works is,
It will go insolvent
it will go insolvent,
and they won't
then-
be able to get care.
right. Yeah, and so
That's
then
how it will go.
there would probably be another piece of legislation that would allow us to transfer into the GIC at that point, and would allow again this amortization.
Really? Or are they going to come to, this is what I'm saying. And I'm not attacking you. I'm frustrated. I've had
Yeah.
conversations with HR. I was told we were going to get more information. I haven't heard anything. Now it's like, oh, there was a window. Oops, it closed. Oh, don't worry about the next window if the one even exists.
Well,
No,
that window
we're not
is-
doing that anymore. We need information.
That window was tough for us. I mean, because really you had to have, like, basically when I became interim mayor was when we should have been like preparing,
Yep.
and I was just getting the information that
That was
things
the
were
responsibility
going
of
up.
HR.
Right, and so that was tough because to meet that December 1st timeline.
And
There
it's going to come up
it
fast
would have
again
been-
if we're
it's gonna
not
come
paying
up fast
attention.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
Well,
saying that on the record.
yeah,
That's all.
and it is on the radar 100%. Like
Yeah.
this is because I'm dealing with this right now for budgeting. Like I need
Yeah.
to know
Yeah.
exactly what we're paying, exactly what we've paid, exactly what the projections are. So like this is an ongoing daily conversation. And I'm really hoping that we don't have to spread these payments out over a period of time. And I'm hoping that our projections kind of come true and we can come in a little bit under $1 million.
Yeah.
Is really
I'm
what
curious who gave you that suggestion, because when you're heading into a recessionary trend, who in the world is going to tell you to spread out those payments?
yeah, well,
anyway?
that's what we don't want to do.
No.
Right.
Well,
So
yeah, let's save
but
it
it
for
was-
next year when we have less money.
it was
We'll
the
pay it then.
legislature. And I think what it was is they were trying to help people hire a consultant to help with the transition and then spread those costs. Because you can basically spread all of the costs. So like this $1 million that it's like we'd be able to
An
spread that.
80-year-old can get a 30-year mortgage. Just because you can
Yeah.
doesn't mean you should.
Right. I agree with that.
Well, and the other piece about it is the microcosm is the individuals whose health insurance changes in these ways. There's often as a provider, I see it all the time.
Yeah.
The crack is there, right? Like there's a parent, it should be covered,
Mm-hmm.
but isn't always. And then what happens is the consumer is in the transition thing and battling about who's going to pay.
Yeah.
And so providers don't get paid, which further,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
All of it.
demoralizes
Like
the
if we were going to
system.
have to ask people to make a change, they need as much notice as humanly possible to try to schedule things around.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
book a mammogram 12 months out.
Yeah.
Is this still an in-service
Right,
provider?
Or is that going
Yeah,
to be
you
a
might have to
massive
change provider
deductible?
Exactly right. Like, so
Yeah.
all of that, I'm not satisfied by HR telling us December 1 of next, don't worry. Nope. Like I want to,
Yeah.
I'll go down myself. It's fine. This is just me yelling, but I'll go get some more information
Yeah,
for
I mean, so the last I
edification.
heard is that there is not another opening.
Ever. Interesting. I'll see what I
Isn't
can
it
find out.
Annual.
It should be, yeah, until next
Certainly.
December. Until next
It's
December.
annual.
Like for some reason, I thought there was one in July, which is they might have been floating.
This
a
is
little
like
bit,
even
but
private insurance is like this. Open
Yeah.
enrollment
Yeah.
is 2 months at the
Yeah.
end of the year.
there was, I think there was talk, and I don't know because I didn't sit on the trust meetings. I think there was
Are those
talk about
public
having
meetings?
a second part of. I think part of it is public.
Email evidence. See if we can send me a schedule. Okay.
But we might have to wait until December.
Okay.
If that's what we're gonna.
Yep. And if that's the case, the hardcore planning starts in April.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I just like to say it out loud.
Yeah,
Not to
because
you.
once you have everybody's
Yeah.
claims information,
Yeah.
it's just insane.
And a sense of what they're willing to do. And
Yeah.
All of it. Okay, thank you. Sorry to take us off track, Julia. I just think the insurance is something that keeps me up at night.
That's all I've got.
Cool.
All right.
Sure you keep this.
I'm gonna keep this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna workshop this.
I mean, so we had talked about breaking down this 10.82 as how much of that is personnel contracts, right? That
Sure.
we're locked into, how much of that is transportation, how much of that is tuition, and how much of that is new requests.
Yep.
Right, so that you have a sense of.
I think that's a
Yep.
smart
Yep.
way to approach it for sure.
And then we had talked about looking at the tuitions, looking at comparing what our FY25 budget was, what our
Mhm.
FY25 actuals
Yeah.
were, right? What our FY26 budget is, and then the FY27 projections, just to sort of look at those.
Yeah.
I think that would
Because
be
we have
helpful too.
just, it's a moving target.
Well, and school funding is a little bit different than municipal funding because, monies come in at different time
Yeah.
periods than, so
Yeah.
I mean, that piece
Circuit
is,
breaker is like
right.
the year
Yeah.
before,
Yeah.
reimbursed from the year before. So we're actually like, this is a loan, I
Yeah.
think, on
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
27, 28.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, I was meeting with the governor and lieutenant governor today and I didn't even bring up school funding at all.
Well, I think he's a little bit
Wow.
worried about the big gulag going up in New Hampshire.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Sam.
Oh,
I have some dates of some amazing events to share with you.
oh, I
That's something
like,
you might
I
want to
like
cover.
dates with amazing events.
Great.
All right.
Do you like to read to small children?
Personally, I'm just a reporter.
I think that was the, yeah.
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 He's
Sure.
gonna read, he's
I'd love
gonna
to.
read
I'd
across
love to.
the mirror.
Yes.
Okay. Do we have anything else that is helpful for us to?
Do we have an extra copy of the agenda and this?
Not that I haven't.
I can
scribbled
send
all
you a
over.
PDF of these this afternoon.
All
Okay,
right.
Sam?
All right. Anyone else have any other business?
So the hope is that, so our next meeting is on March 9th, right? Or March 2nd? March 2nd. So our goal is to have sort of final numbers then, right? Final-ish. I think I haven't sent out the email yet, so I think I'm going to tell the budget software. We just had our training and
Okay.
and I'm going to sort of release the hounds into
Okay.
the budget software tomorrow. So I think the goal is to have them submit their numbers by March 2nd.
March 2nd is Read Across America Day.
Is it?
Yes,
Yep.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, there
Did you write that
go.
down, tall Sam?
in the morning.
I was just gonna ask something. Okay, so the plan for the March 2nd agenda will be numbers by building. Like how are you thinking we'll discuss
How do you
numbers?
want it?
In the past, we've done by building and then overall district. That doesn't mean that's how I want to do it. What do you think makes sense?
What capabilities does ClearGov have?
That's a great question. I don't even know yet.
Yeah.
We just leave it open.
I think, so for the schools, I mean, we're keeping it pretty simple at the school level.
Yeah.
So your pot of money is the same as it was last year.
Yeah.
Right. So what we consider their discretionary
Yeah.
accounts, right? So like all the personnel accounts are in my purview, right? I'll be populating those based on my salary projections, right? Transportation, right? So I think most building principals have anywhere from 10 to 20 accounts. I have about 200 accounts,
Mhm.
right? Where most of the numbers I input based on, right, projections,
Yeah.
those sorts of things.
That's
You
too
know.
many for us to look at.
Yeah. Right, so I don't anticipate that there's going to be a lot different than this.
Okay.
No,
The only thing that we haven't really looked at yet is just sort of the year-over-year increases for all of our software platforms.
Okay. What about, maybe it would be helpful if we were able to break down a little bit into like class sizes, staffing, like that kind of level of information. Just like things that community public want to know about how this plays out next year.
okay,
True, like how many in a class,
Yeah.
generally, like that kind of thing.
okay.
Just for public info, that makes sense.
Yeah.
We did that. I have those. It
You
hasn't
do,
changed much
yeah.
since October 1. So
But attaching it to a budget is
Yeah.
helpful, I think.
I think,
What else? Anything else that we would want to? See, I can't think of anything. Or do you have anything on your brain?
Might have to do stress management. Too many things on my
Well,
list.
Okay, if I think of anything else, I'll let you know, but I
I was
think
doing a little
just like
4-7
the
agreement
public
before I
facing
came
view
up,
of like, what does this look like next year in our schools?
I honestly think
Class size is going up, class size is going down.
I want to see what Julia comes up with.
Yeah, and
And then I think once we see that after this budget season is done, we can be like, wow, this really slapped. This feels a little superfluous, or this is like, I think we'll know better.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because you just tend to nail it pretty well. Like,
Yeah.
what is there going to be 3% of tweaking after you put it out there? We'll figure out.
Yeah.
If there's any more. Yeah. I don't see it particularly edifying to see the building breakdown, but maybe
Yeah.
I'm in the minority.
Well,
I don't
you
know.
might be able to do that with the software once.
Yep.
Like, I don't know if we'll need to dig into that necessarily, other than having it in the software and then seeing what those printouts look like.
Yeah.
Because it'll break it all down.
Yeah,
It should, like, you have charts and graphs and everything else.
exactly. Yeah,
should have that,
custodians
yeah.
at MVS versus custodians at EHS, like, not helpful.
Yeah, no.
Right, like the overall personnel is helpful, but, yeah.
I put February 9th. It's February 17th. I'm an idiot.
It is February.
I don't know why. I was looking at the wrong agenda when I dated the PDF I sent to
Okay.
Can
him.
you send the PDF to me too?
Sure thing.
So, yeah, that way I have it digital.
Mhm.
So when I have all my screens up with the budget, I can have this stuff.
Don't feel unfancy, but I'm just going to forward this
Oh, no,
that I just sent to him to
don't
you.
feel unfancy.
As you are looking at the agenda, Sam, we, because we're kind of in new territory with
Mm.
budgeting software, we had this old model in our agenda of like last year's budget and then looking by building, and we kind of erased that and just the discussion of this instead. Like,
Okay.
what are the changes between last year and this year?
What is that?
This is the thing that you got forwarded.
Okay.
Yes, we can, the mystery does not have to live on your phone, I suppose. So this is a nice breakdown from Julia of like knowing what we know about last year's budget. What is the increase for this coming year by the different categories? So we looked at it that way instead of like those items that were on the agenda.
Okay. All right.
If you want to do a really interesting, like, investigative piece, that one that says OOD tuition would be one to dig into.
Outfit of
You
the
know what
day.
it is? Out of
That's the
district.
joy of my
Out
job
of
to ask.
district.
Out of district.
So when you have a kiddo
Not
that's
outfit of the day.
on an IEP, Sam, that
Yeah.
might have to go to a specialty school or specialized program,
Hmm.
it's that tuition. It's that cost associated with sending that student. That might be our district student, but we aren't able to offer the services that their IEP dictates. So there might be more.
And this is on top of last year's budget.
Yes.
So whatever the number is in the column
I just
is
said that to
in
Sam.
addition to the budget as for
The
last.
doc is labeled as February 9th. It's from February 17th.
That's fine.
Yeah, I guess that's a piece of feedback for me. Is it helpful to only talk about the pluses, or would you rather see the full numbers?
Well, me and Megan are different. We're old Matt.
I mean, I need this.
So it
this is
works
like
for
what
us.
we need to see.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do I like some of
Bonnie?
the other ones?
What do you, does this like,
I mean, I'm okay with just saying this is what
Yeah.
it's above and beyond what was happening last year.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm fine
I
with
mean,
it.
I could do it either way, but this, Michelle and I had talked and
This is
I
clean.
figured this would be the
sufficient?
simplest way to do
Yeah,
it.
Absolutely.
Because, I mean, the more, I sort of feel like the more numbers you put in a piece of paper, the less people
Yeah.
can focus on any
Yeah.
one of them.
100%.
Well,
And
I
that's what
think
the whole budget book is for. Like, we understand what you're talking about. The budget book is there to like fill in all the
That's
blanks
true.
and tell
That's
the
a
whole
great point
story.
too. Yeah.
and if you had both, it looks even more terrifying, I
Yeah.
would think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would
Right.
be just a bunch of numbers
Yeah.
running into each
Right.
other. And when you start like talking about millions of dollars, the commas and it just,
Yeah.
And
they all
thinking
run
about
into
where it might come from.
Exactly.
We used to sit here with Nick, remember? And if I didn't have my glasses,
my
God
Lord.
help you, the Bible text, we were reading like this, and you, so you're like, it was a lot. It
Mm.
was hard to understand.
Okay. If there's no other business, then we can go ahead and adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Are you giving that motion? Are you asking? for
I
it?
was.
Okay, great. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. And so we are officially adjourned at, who wants to touch their, oh, we have to roll
4:50.
call out. Roll call
4:50.
out.
Laura Scott, good afternoon.
Bonnie Atkins, have a great week.
Megan Harvey, have a great week.
This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.